what up, everybody? Top to top, it's your boy Jay.
Cool guy, JD.
It's your boy Mo, man. Seymour Keiko. You look fucking crazy, by the way, bro.
Redacted.
You look crazy, by the way. Can you show them what you look like? Can you show them what the fuck you look like?
I can't reveal my identity today due to the topics at hand because it would reveal my secret society.
Yo, he got the solar shields. He got the solar shields.
James, brother, listen, man. Last time we was on a podcast wave, we got crazy deep into the simulation bag. We thought it was right, me and my brothers, that we tackled a secret society.
And, you know,
secret society
you know what
bag.
you're thinking. Illuminati. New World Order. Yeah. Oh, it goes deeper than that.
Illuminati want my mind, soul, and my body.
Secret society.
You see something?
Get him now, me. I'll just see me and this man glasses and shit. But you know what?
Hey, but that's what's creating this appeal with a conversation, because you know we about to get into the bag with this.
Shout out my boy D Rose, man. He said them the white supremacy glasses, by the way.
them the Oakley joints.
No, I just found these in the basement.
That's how it is, you know, in the White Household. You're gonna have some Oakley glasses somewhere. You gonna find some Oakley somewhere.
These are called Piranha. They're probably bought at like some tourist trap thing in like Florida or something.
And them shit's $250.
Yeah. All right. So, part of the reason that sparked this idea of a conversation like this is because, so you know, James, what we love about Jimmy Thump is because he gonna give it to you from the well-spoken scientific approach.
Some would say the Freemason approach.
Freemason approach. I like it. But see, how me and Jew come.
No, you good. No, you
how
good.
me and Jew come. See, me and Jew,
cute.
we come from that G. Craig truth about hip hop. Life. That's where we come from. So we talking that entertainment and what pushes the narrative for successful people in the industry. Are they part of secret societies? Are they a part of New World Orders, Freemasons, Illuminati?
Be careful with your words when you come this way, by the way. Just go ahead, though.
That's
this is how people disappear.
No, I just want to.
But see, and then you got Seymour Kate that comes into this conversation because I don't know, Violators. If y'all remember one of the first Violator podcasts we recently dropped where he was talking about that goddamn, what was it, the caterpillar?
The lizard. I was just because he's got the lizard. He sees lizards.
The marsupials. So he gonna come with some real conspiracy. So it all comes together as a big ass.
Melting pot.
No, a melting pot. But what's the word we used in 2018? A structured mess.
A structured mess. Yeah.
So first off, I'm gonna look for you, Jimmy. I need you to pop me off real quick.
Pause.
Pop it every time. Okay, so let me explain that real quick.
Second time.
Yes, this is the second time. So let me explain the meaning with the pop off. So when I'm talking,
I know the meaning of the pop off. You sent out that text message like, "Yo, baby, I need you to pop me off real quick."
But see, I don't even think that's the term. It sounds bad, but that's not a term that's used.
I'm about to pop off one.
It sounds bad, but I don't think it's a term that's actually used. So when I say it, I'm thinking, let me pop it off with James. What's popping? Let me pop it off. But you know, when you're talking, you just wordplay. But
nah, man, I don't want no other man. I don't want no man to tell me he about to pop it off. Nah, man.
It's like
no,
unless we about to start fighting.
He just said pop it off was okay. See, I said pop me off. So I can.
That's even worse.
That's what I'm saying. So I can understand the pop.
Man.
I can say to understand the pop me off. Okay, so that won't happen. But
Drew, how about
let's pop it off. Let's pop it off with James.
Let me pop myself off. So secret societies.
Real good.
Dude, I was able to get in some Wikipediaing, and there's a rabbit hole there. So they're based on the fraternal structural systems of society dating back to early Western civilizations, Greek and Roman. That's kind of where they started. You get in a group, nobody knows you're in a group. That's a secret. It's a society. The more modern societies.
He's giving an origin of it.
Right.
Yeah. We're just going into defining what a secret society is. It's often been defined as a group that's not necessarily secret in nature, where it's unknown, but the actions,
the inner workings,
are usually kept secret.
Shielded in secrecy.
Members are generally held to an oath, and usually groups are in some way restrictive into who they let in, either by invite only, or you have to have this certain trait.
Oh, that ain't nothing but an NDA.
Yeah.
Shut up.
And so, a lot of the early ones, famous ones, Freemasons, and honestly, pretty much everything, every secret society is based off the Freemasons. In terms of moderns, because that was 13th century I have here. And then
Freemasons are more fraternal, right?
Well, the Freemasons
in this day and age.
Yeah.
It really starts with the Moors, but that's a different conversation for a different day.
Also a split off of the Masons. The Knights Templar were a split off of the Masons.
I've heard of that.
Assassin's Creed went crazy.
Yeah, I actually looked for my Assassin's Creed hoodie for this episode.
To mention.
I'll tell you.
The Illuminati
caught that shit.
were born out of Freemasonry because, who is it? The creator, I didn't get his name, is a German guy in what was Bavaria in 1776. Coincidentally, the same year America was declared free. He got into an argument with leaders of the Freemasons and was like, fine, I'm going to start my own club. And called it, in German, it's like Illuminatum, but translates to Illuminati. And that leads into a lot of, in America, what we consider like frat groups.
Right.
And then there's some deeper, bigger ones that obviously get boiled up in the conspiracy because a lot of powerful, rich people come out of these big colleges with these very secret groups.
Okay,
and
so
that's kind of the history of, that was more specifically the Freemasons, but the Freemasons really kind of started the whole trend.
All right, so let's hold that thought. Let's chew on that for 1 second.
Yeah.
So we got the establishment of secret society, Freemasons, Illuminati. So where I'm at with it is, at what point, because this had to be years and years ago, obviously, but at what point did this infiltrate into the industry? Because like we were talking about off camera, a lot of this was originally in higher learning institutions and facilities. Yeah,
most secret societies
like that
revolve around, and especially the Freemasons and Illuminati, just revolve around
elite, powerful, rich
people. No, they are against state control. They are against powerful people. They are for freedom of information. They
you think so?
No, that's just a fact.
This is how they were started.
I thought this is what we're told, though.
They started as very liberal organizations, and that's why they had to remain secret, especially during the colony era.
So you're saying this secret societies, Freemasons, it was created from a place of good. It originated from a place of good.
But that's literally what illuminate, spread knowledge.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and it really started with just a group of men, just like us three.
Free thinkers.
Women weren't allowed back in the day.
Yeah, it was just a group of men. And it was like, you know what? Fuck this. That's why we're going to start this new world order. So that's where it really began.
That's why, that's why they decided to make the Constitution the way it is and shit like that. Like, everybody sat down with each other.
Well, because a lot of what Freemasons were early Democrats and Republicans and liberal. Those are the terms we give them today, but those were the beliefs that they kind of encapsulated, which is why Freemason thinking is in a lot of constitutions, because it's generally a moral and ethical good way to go.
Right.
You see, a lot of times when people think of Freemasons and the Illuminati and New World Order, they think of the evilness behind it, the satanic behind it, the demonic behind it.
And I can tell you why.
Why?
Because of the world's biggest problem, and I am guilty of this being a white Italian boy, the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
The Catholic Church.
Y'all motherfuckers is nasty, bro. Yo, them niggas is nasty.
So besides touching kids, the Catholic Church is also,
Ritualistic.
is also really good at one other thing, and that's making sure no one else undermines them. And what these secret societies were trying to do was not so much, coup d'etat them. They weren't a revolutionary revolt, but they were spreading ideas that went against the Catholic Church and how the Catholic Church kept power over people.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the Catholic Church would make sure to tell everyone that these specific groups of people are bad, and at one point outright banned secret societies and a lot of organizations from gathering so that their ideas could not spread. And that's what it was mostly just their propaganda that created that the idea that the Illuminati are devil worshipping, the Freemasons go against God, which actually one of the tenets of Freemasonry is when you join, you have to like, you know how like in a court you put your hand on the Bible?
Yeah.
In Freemasonry, you have to do that, but whatever religion you are. So they have Bible, Torah, Quran, and you have to believe in a higher deity to be a Freemason originally.
Okay.
But it was the Catholic Church that really kind of like threw shade at the secret societies.
You got to be
And that's
careful with the
why
damn Catholic Church, man. Because
I'm telling you, they're the reason, they're literally the whole world's problem.
the Crusades,
No, for
All right,
real.
so
they
look,
will fuck you up.
But see where I want to get to. So we established the identity or the creation of the secret society, the Freemasons, where it came from, and how we've got to a place where it's evil. So, Jew, years ago, me and you, we sat down and we watched G. Craig's Truth About Hip Hop, and this had to be about 2005, 2006.
No. It's got to be 08. It was 08.
You think so?
It was 08, 09 because afterward it was
That's
the same.
when
It was
Illuminati
actually it was actually 09 because that was after the Blueprint 3.
Okay.
And that was actually when Beyonce dropped Disturbia. And she started coming out with the Sasha Fierce shit.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason I'm mentioning that is because that was probably the first thing I had watched in my life where besides Paranormal Activity, that it kept me up at night. I couldn't sleep. Now, for those who aren't familiar, G. Craig, Truth About Hip Hop, he talks about and he exposes the Illuminati inside of the entertainment industry, as far as music, movies, media, what have you. So, is that a thing?
Of course it is.
Yeah.
So
Of course it is.
So, Freemasons, Illuminati. So it has come to the point where it's not as positive as it once was in that light.
No.
I mean, the thing is that when you got that top 1% and everything else, they'll take you out. I mean, think about it. Even boom. Let's go back to Dave Chappelle's show and everything else. When Paul Mooney, he was like, "Oh yeah, they'll come for you and everything else.
I remember that.
They'll come get you and everything else." And that's the fucking truth. I mean, if you think about it, honestly, I mean, if you really go down into conspiracies and everything else, one, they knew who killed Tupac. They knew who killed Malcolm X. The government knew
Biggie.
who killed Biggie. I mean,
That Muslim fella,
JFK?
JFK, friggin'
Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn Monroe.
I
All
thought
that.
she just OD'd.
No.
They took her out.
It get deeper. Like
They took her
it gets
out.
deeper in her Marilyn Monroe's story.
I don't know. I really thought she did have a drug problem, though.
No.
No, I mean, and they always cover it up. Like, just like with
They're-
another Dave Chappelle. They just gonna sprinkle some crack on you. You know what I mean? They'll cover you up and say it was drugs.
That's a fact.
I mean, think about it. Michael Jackson died at the age of 50, right? Mm-hmm. Prince died at the age of 50 because, quote unquote, drugs, overdose.
Whitney Houston.
Whitney
Same
Houston,
shit.
they'll drug you and then they'll kill you and make it look like it was an accident.
Yeah.
Right. No, I agree. I guess I've always had this fascination with it because when first of the fact that I'm big on conspiracies in itself, you know, I love the idea of a good conspiracy. You know, I guess I'm a person,
Right.
you know, but it's hard to not believe things like the Illuminati or, you know, these new world orders are in the background facilitating the inner workings of what we love, artists, musicians, music, like movies, like
I'm gonna keep it 100.
look at
with
the imagery we have. Like
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. If it was secret, we wouldn't know. They leaked that certain stuff. I mean, they talk about the Illuminati in Gargoyles in the 1990s.
Yeah, they
Like
was
a
putting shit
friggin'
out
cartoon. The shit was out there. If it's a real secret, we ain't gonna know about it.
there. Bro, that's
Well, that was kind of like, I mean, literally half our government is a secret society. Like the NSA, nobody knew about until Snowden came out. And
Yeah.
revealed that was like a faction of the CIA, or I'm not sure, or the defense, Department of Defense. I'm not sure what they're.
Yeah, I remember they made up and said it was just like they tried to make like it was like security breach type shit or something like that about Snowden, right?
Yeah.
Where you at with them all?
I mean, I'm more so like, this shit is all this shit is all control, right?
Right.
Puppeteer shit.
Good word, puppeteer.
No, it's super puppeteer shit, and like, I mean, let's take it back, right? You remember how back we was in like social studies and history class back in the day when we were in 7th and 8th grade and shit, they teach us about Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, people like this and shit. All this money in the world.
Talk about the Jews.
Whatever they
Because
are.
The Catholic Church made up that rumor too, that it was the Jewish overlords. I read that too. That was
For real?
yeah, because that like all that like Zionists, like the Jews run everything. That was
Yeah.
the Catholic Church thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's crazy. But I remember like, Rockefeller controlled the oil market and shit, and Morgan had the banks and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was on YouTube, took my little deep dive on YouTube and shit, and I discovered that Nelson Rockefeller created the FDA. Everybody knows what FDA is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So create the FDA.
The drug executive approval.
Yeah. So, before, like way before, like, the drugs started coming to market, they was actually using roots like cure cancer, everything, all these roots, all these herbs and spices on everything, right, to cure cancer, just to make sure everything's Gucci in life, right? So Nelson Rockefeller, he actually started making drugs, but he was like, yo, you guys have to put the gases inside the drugs. And he made the doctors and physicians take an oath. And if they didn't take that certain oath, their license would be removed for like 5 years, something like that. And they couldn't practice that medicine anymore. And then on top of that shit, Rockefeller, he also funded his own money from like the American Cancer Society, made that, and then put it right back in the FDA. Like, it's just a big money pot for all this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just this huge money pot. But then also to branch off on that, I was watching History Channel. History Channel be having like those little gems on there and shit. They had like, I forget what the show was called, but it's like the first forefathers of the world or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about the Civil War. Then like Nelson, like Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan. This is where J.P. Morgan shit come into play, but like Morgan. Then William McKinley came in that bitch. I'm like, all right, Buffalo. Like, you want to talk about let's talk about some shit.
Mm-hmm.
They was talking about like how McKinley, they bought out McKinley for the presidency and shit. And then how they said, you need to do this, right? Now, didn't McKinley get assassinated?
Yeah, in Buffalo.
Yeah, he got assassinated.
That's why
right.
everything here's called
Yeah,
McKinley.
right. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, got assassinated in Buffalo and shit. But they said in the show they were specifically talking about William McKinley never followed the New World Order, and what they had planned for him, because he was trying to go against the grain that's had to set up to where whatever Americans, how he wanted this shit to be, and the government obviously wanted their shit to be the way it is. And on top of that, this gave me to my biggest bag. This 9/11 shit, it's the biggest fucking conspiracy theory of all. That shit is a whole inside job. I really want to. No. I want to talk about that shit.
No, it was just. Oh man.
Yeah, I'm fresh.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm like that. I'm sorry, but that shit is the biggest fucking secret society thing, inside job, all that shit. I'm sorry. I listen. Much love to the firefighters.
He gonna call it the 9/11 after 9/11.
Much love to the.
Damn it, Mo.
Much love to the. Listen, much love to the Armed Forces, everything. But listen, that shit was an inside job, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You're not blowing up 2 fucking buildings. 2 planes is not causing all that damage, bro.
But that's where a lot of things, take into effect and they play, because if we're thinking about the Illuminati, and I'm sure that there are many names for it. It was a good thing you said was.
Like, I can preface that with the Freemasons and Illuminati, which is why they're the most quoted names, is they were super loose in their standards, and there was no head organization. You just start a little chapter where you were.
Right.
And so that's why, like, anybody could really do it. That's why those 2 names got around the most.
Right.
See, that name makes sense. And one thing a name that I want to throw out, so our viewers and supporters, you may know.
The 66th Street
Jim.
Boys.
Huh?
The 66th Street Boys.
Okay, so we're getting to into that realm, but Aleister Crowley.
Aleister Crowley.
Yeah,
That's
Aleister Crowley. Yeah.
Now, Jew, I'm leaning to you to this. What was Aleister Crowley considered?
The most wicked and evilest man ever walked the earth, besides Hitler.
Yes, and a lot of his teachings were studied in, the Church of Satan. And
He's very much into the occult.
very much into the occult. And
Which, the Catholic Church don't like.
also ties in with Illuminati
Yeah.
because somehow Illuminati, Aleister Crowley, they always cross paths with one another. The fact that Michael Jackson on one of his albums, I think it was Dangerous, where he has Aleister Crowley in the background. It was Dangerous, right?
It was dangerous.
The Beatles, it might have been the Beatles' greatest hits where they had Aleister Crowley in the background. Now, a lot of these artists, and the reason I'm bringing up Michael Jackson and the Beatles is because they're regarded as the greatest performers of all time.
Right.
Now, if you go into media, well, not as far as my beliefs, just what they're regarded as. You know,
I always argue that the Beatles were dog shit, and like the Doors, the Who, and the Rolling Stones are all way better.
I don't even
see, I'm a Motley Crue guy.
The only thing the Beatles did
cool.
was
I'm a
invent the
Motley
bowl
Crue
cut.
guy.
That's literally all they did.
I love Elvis.
Rocket
love
Man's
Elvis.
Rocket Man's my
I love
shit.
Elvis. Elvis was for the culture.
Elvis was not for the
Wait, can I
culture.
ask you a question though?
Rocket Man.
That's that shit.
That's my shit.
Elvis
Yeah?
was definitely was for the culture.
No. Elvis stole from the culture.
No. Elvis
They're
was
being disrespectful.
No, Elvis was
I had a
like
question.
Elvis.
he was like the Eminem back in the day.
That's exactly what he was.
Elvis was the king.
Elvis was definitely.
Elvis was the king.
Elvis was definitely for the culture because he
took the blues and
it is. Ike Turner is on the record saying that when Elvis was a kid, he used to sneak in and listen to his albums. He watched them his parents used to take him to black church because they loved gospel music. Like
that's the
it's
same thing
just
with
like
Johnny Cash too. Was one of those pioneers.
yeah, and it's like the thing is, it's like, for instance, you got a white boy he was smack dab in Nashville, Tennessee. If you take a white boy and you put him in the 80s in New York and everything else, there's a good chance he's going to be rapping.
No, that's facts.
That's exactly what happened to Elvis. Like, when he first got on and everything else, and he first got on TV, he was doing covers to black music because that's the shit he fucked with. Okay, when he got...
Well, that's a way to put it in perspective because I don't know a lot of the histories on Elvis, but
You should-
anything
The
I've
history
heard...
of blues music is
Anything,
amazing.
anything
really
I've
is.
heard about Elvis have always been him stealing, like him sampling off other artists, artists not getting credited. You know, but
Okay,
the times
but
were different, so it was hard
hold
to
on.
get that proper credit.
But let me get over this. If you want to talk about Elvis doing that, let's talk about Dr. Dre and the Chronic. Let's talk about him sampling off of P-Funk, Parliament Funk. Hip hop music.
Well, that's a conversation right there because we on Illuminati.
But no, I mean, it's still listening. It still fits in here. Hip hop music is sampled off of other music. Even if you look at it today, today's music.
No, I don't think you can't argue that.
Yeah, I mean,
You can't argue that.
So that's actually a really you can tell a good artist when they do a cover or sample like an old blues song from the early 1900s. Like there's like when Kurt Cobain and Nirvana, when they did their Unplugged set, did Where Did You Stay Last Night? I don't even know. It wasn't Blind Willie Johnson, but that song has been covered by, that's one of the most prolific blues songs. And obviously hip hop artists sample, the Amen break is one of the most famous breaks in hip hop history. That was recorded in 1941, and that's a kick snare kind of thing. That's the sign of a good musician, in my opinion. But I think we're a little off topic.
Yeah.
What I wanted to ask you is, so you have and I don't even want to use the word Illuminati or Freemasons because what does that even mean anymore? It's just like a group of people that want to be at the top and be the ones at the top. We often attribute that to like the 1% want total control and New World Order. But let me ask you, why is it only in the music industry? Why don't you see it as much in Hollywood?
Now you do.
No, I do. I guess I just...
It's not nearly as prevalent. I've never heard like...
That's because Hollywood, you're force fed a different narrative. See, in music, there's more of a control or more of a narrative of a creativity. So artists can, like a Lil Nas X or even Lil Wayne back when in his high, in the early the 2010s, where they control what they're putting in, the imagery that they're using in videos. So trying to expose and they're trying to show you as much as possible. Lil Nas X with the Satan shoes, Lil Nas X giving Satan a lap dance, or him being pregnant. Like, they're pushing the narrative. Hollywood, they're pushing that same narrative, but it's a little bit more.
I don't think they are.
It's a little more controlled.
Let me chime in. The crazy thing about it. Let's look at Supernatural
One of the best underrated shows ever.
Okay,
Great show.
the King of Hell. His name was Alistair.
Right.
Okay, there's certain people, certain names that just always come up, like names like Balthazar. You know what I mean? Like Legion. You know what I mean? Stuff that just crammed down our throats.
Well, Balthazar was Shakespearean.
But still, honestly,
he was the guard in Romeo and Juliet.
Honestly, I think there's definitely a demon named Balthazar. I don't want to meet the motherfucker, but I definitely think. I mean, I was huge on Charmed. That was the shit. Like, it's certain shit that just keep on coming up. Like, it's really crazy. Like, Hollywood is probably one of the most corrupt and stuff that happens there.
That's
Those
why I think it's worse than
parties, those secret, like, why do you think they blackball Cat Williams and everything else? Because in them parties, they gonna make you suck a dick.
Not only will they make you suck a dick, they make you they compromise not only your manhood,
and take pictures of you and keep that shit.
But it's deeper than that, man. Like, there is, I do believe, because look at the higher powers in this world. To be honest, it's only like one or two corporations that really do own everything. Like, I can't remember what it's called. And James,
Disney,
maybe you'll be better versed in it than me. But the family that owns Walmart owns everything.
No, I would say Alphabet. It's the ones you always see. It's Microsoft, Alphabet, and
but
Amazon.
These are all owned. But from the outside looking at it as consumers of the purchasers, it looks like it's from different places. It's from different ownerships. It's from different ends of the spectrum. But it all comes to one. Right. It all filters back to one thing. Like one. Like it's different. It's a difference to be rich and wealthy. You know. The like you said, the guys in Hollywood, the movie industry. That's why I just tried to label it the industry.
But
so it can come from different places between music and the arts.
So let's take three groups and analyze it.
Okay.
The movie industry, the music industry, and the 1%
pharmaceutical.
No, we're just gonna call them the 1% corporate owners. What are each of them? What are each of those industries' goals?
More money.
Creates these conspiracy theories. What are each of their goals?
Mind control. We're free, but we're not free. A lot of the narrative of the world is controlled by what we see on social media, by what we see on television, the radio. Yeah. I'm not saying everybody flocks to what they hear, but you have to admit a lot of the youth, a lot of these movie stars, these musicians, we like them, but who are they influencing? The kids, the future. People watch GTA and go out and commit crimes. It's what do they say in Scream? It's art imitating life, imitating art. Like, people, they flock to what they see to what they hear in music, what they see on movies. We talked about Scientology off the camera.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Tom Cruise.
But that's just another secret society. That's just another example of a secret society.
But think how influential look how influential Tom Cruise is.
Right, but okay, so to argue that point about influence, what do you see that, like, what's Gen Z, they don't know any of those people, and they follow TikTokers and Instagrammers.
Yeah, but if you're singing a song and applauding a song that's made about, going to hell or, doing some crazy shit, evil shit, and you're singing that song, you shouldn't be singing that. You shouldn't be singing.
But all I'm saying
Montero, Call Me by My Name. You shouldn't be singing that. But
all I'm saying is
it's entertaining.
Way more influencers than like a standard industry person spat out. Like,
as far as social media, influencers as far as social media
in general, so back in the day, you used to be able to watch TV or listen to music, and that was like your influence. Now, there's a a billion TikTokers with 1 million followers. They each have their own subgroup, and they're each influencing that subgroup with their own shit. And that wasn't put out by the industry. Those are just random ass kids who just happen to get something going.
So you don't think that these people have, like the influencers, the musicians, the creative minds, you don't think that there are gatekeepers at these industry parties, at these... In Hollywood, you have to play the game.
I agree.
No, I think in the big industry, but yeah, but
No.
The industry is failing. Music industry is failing right now. It's
don't
not. You don't have to go to a studio to record. Most electronic music
You don't need to sign
producers.
a record deal.
You don't. Most electronic music producers right now record stuff on airplanes and in their bedrooms. That is going for live music or like more band or vocal music as well. Hollywood's a much smaller crowd than I think people give it credit for.
See, I don't think that. I think actually there's a lot more. There are a lot more Hollywood execs that play the background. That play the, we got the goes back to the puppeteer word you use. We have everybody that dancing around, flashing in front of the cameras, but what about the producers that hired that person? The director, the storyboard writer.
I tell you what,
the owner of the studio.
The storyboard writer ain't getting paid.
No.
He ain't getting paid.
No. I've seen a lot of stories where storyboard writers get fucked. So I'll give you that. But just the people who play the background, who they have, like I go back to Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X is a goddamn joke and a half to me.
Right.
It's not about him being gay. I have an older brother that's gay. Love him dearly. It's the narrative he pushes while being gay.
Be careful.
The devil. I'm not saying nothing wrong. The devil imagery, the Satan shoes. See, I'm not going into that. I'm just talking about into the evilness of it.
But that's just rinse and repeat from everything that's gone on. That's just provocateurship.
Yeah,
and that's all.
He wants us to do what we're doing now.
It was 10 years ago. It was Marilyn Manson. And he's still kicking and doing good. And his music was he was actually a really good artist.
Yeah.
But he used that kind of shit to stir the pot and get noticed, and it made him a millionaire.
But see, that's the same as playing with a goddamn Ouija board. You play with a Ouija board, you open in the doorway.
I guess if you're like actually spiritual and you think there's consequences
if you're
to that.
constantly, putting a get up together, you're talking about satanic shit 24/7. You're opening doors for things. The guys who made the movie Poltergeist, that's one of the most cursed films in history for a reason. It's the shit they was dabbling with to make that movie. The Exorcist, and
if you think about it,
those places they go dark places to make
American Horror Story.
Oh, don't
that shit is crazy as shit.
American Horror Story, when they did the Papa Legba thing, like Precious, I don't know her real name, but Precious said that when she did that incantation, I'm sorry. When she did that, like, she actually summoned some shit. Like, there was scratching on the wall, and she said she felt the nail on her face. Now, the crazy thing is that she really wasn't summoning Papa Legba. I forgot the name, but she was summoning the dude with the top hat with the white face. That was a completely different demon.
Slender Man.
Like, we're not getting into Slender Man. That was a completely different demon. That was some true voodoo shit that those producers didn't know what the fuck they were fucking with.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they put certain shit, like
the actor who played Jesus in The Passion of Christ, he got struck by lightning filming a movie.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you watched American Horror Stories.
I watched the whole thing.
The one episode where they had the movie,
the theater
episode,
the frequencies and the vibrations of what you watching triggered you something in your brain to make you go crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, that's certain stuff like that. They don't just throw that out there for no reason. That's just real.
Do.
No, they don't.
They absolutely do. It's for that same reason, because there's a mystery behind it, and as humans, we're intrigued by it. It's all psychology, and that's what the goal of the artist is to intrigue the psychology of the human.
Sometimes with movies, television shows, music videos, sometimes, people do things for checks. I'll put this out because I know it'll make me a vast amount of money fast. People will watch it. But there are cases where movies are made, storyboard writers, where there's actual research put into the work. And you get cases where Precious accidentally conjures up a demon because what she's reading, what they studied, what they decided to put into their film
Is real.
It's real.
It's real.
It's for our entertainment, and it's acted, and it's not real, but it is real.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, how do you go 6 months making a movie, The Exorcist, and you don't expect to take nothing home with you at night?
Come on.
You got all of this devil imagery, you got all of this shit, and it's the job. You know, you go home, and that's the life you live. And nothing, you don't bring nothing. You really don't think that?
No, I think that's all.
Coincidence?
No, I think that's all. None of that was real.
Remember that movie Annabelle?
Yeah.
With the doll and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is? Maybe you know it's a spinoff from
Conjuring. That's the series, the Conjuring series. I think
Annabelle spun off from The Conjuring.
off the Conjuring.
Yeah.
So you know how Lorraine and whatever her husband went.
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah, but into that shit is real, bro. I firmly believe in that shit. Like that shit is legit.
Okay, but now we're getting like the realm of like spirituality. We're trying to figure out the New World Order at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I would tell you, and I'll explain to you, because maybe we could wrap up here, because we should probably wrap up here. The same people that are scared of globalism and the New World Order, the New World Order, according to the original Freemasons and Illuminati, was just a more liberal and efficient way of living. And you have the conspiracy theorists paint the New World Order as some authoritarian regime that controls mankind, which is not really the whole idea of the New World Order, but that's what conspiracy theorists made it out to be. And I can tell you, there is no way in shit that's ever going to happen on this planet. You are not going to tell me that there is one person.
Maybe not in our lifetime.
There is, and I wish we had a global government. I wish Earth was united, not under a ruler, but under a system. But you cannot tell me that, because I believe that there's a reason why the president of this country is considered the most powerful man in the world. He shouldn't be. That's just a position. And we have a 3-branch system of government, but it is. So you can't tell me that.
3-branch system is bullshit.
But you can't tell me in the music industry, in the movie industry, in the secret government, the corporation, the pharmaceutical. You can't tell me that they're all like, yeah, I'll let you have control. No, they're all the kind of people that want the control. Therefore, and then you
Puppeteers.
Then you could take.
This is puppeteers.
But they're not they're not puppeteering anything. But because there can't be one authoritarian leader across the entire world, because
No, but there could be a face of it.
no, because no one would want to give up that power. If it's all about power, no one's going to give it up to let one person be.
This goes back to when I said there's more behind the scenes than what we're led to believe. There's more behind the scenes than what we're. I say Little Nas.
That's what makes it a secret.
I say the reason I mention Little Nas X is because he's the guy I could think of right now that's trying to have those thought-provoking ideas of, devil worship or whatever he's into. There he signed to a record label. That record label, like he's just the face of it. He has influence. There's millions of kids who follow him. They see him and they want to react to what he's doing. They want to recreate what he's doing.
Old Town Road was not that damn good.
It wasn't. It wasn't. You mean to
No,
tell me?
I actually really like Billy Ray Cyrus's part in the remix.
And it got
That's
played
'cause
off.
he's a legend.
It got played off. It's not a timeless song.
No, it's not.
But you mean to tell me out of the however many millions of followers that kid has, not one kid, he didn't convert one kid into a Satan worshiper. That's not possible?
No, it's possible, but I'm just saying, mind control en masse under one ruler is not realistic.
I don't think it's one ruler. I think it's many artists. There's many artists there, but they're not the power. They're just the face. Jay-Z does this. Beyonce does this. There's videos of Beyonce dancing. She whips her hair and her face completely manipulates into something else. That it could have been camera. It could be fake. But what I'm saying is people, and we look at these people, we love them. What they do is word. It's God. It's the new wave. They're not necessarily in control. They're just showing us what's cool or what we think is cool, what we like about ourselves, what we like about them. I think it's more behind the scenes than what we're just in our face, like you said, if it's a secret, we wouldn't know about it.
They
We
check
know about
chasing.
it.
I
But
think all that shit is just for a check at this point, though, too.
I would say that there's less behind the scenes than people think. I think people like to, because it goes again with just human psychology. We like to be intrigued by a mystery, and because it's behind the scenes and we don't see it, now we're painting all these different ideas in our head of what could be going on. When in reality, it's mostly just infighting, not paying each other. Really, they're not getting. No one likes each other in the upper echelon, because they're all fighting for the same thing, which is money and control over what they're doing. So nobody in the upper echelon likes each other. They just are all fighting to push the others out to get a bigger slice of the pie. And then this guy finally gets a little... It's
Do you follow American Horror Story? At all? Like, at all?
Like the show?
The show.
I watched the first season, but then it got lazy. And
Okay.
First season's garbage, though.
Murder
House is good.
Murder House was one of the best. That's why they keep revisiting Murder House.
Because, and then the second season was like...
I liked Asylum.
Asylum was okay.
Well, I couldn't finish it. I got to episode 8. I'm like, holy fuck, this plot has gone nowhere.
The reason I mentioned American Horror Story,
Circus was the best one.
Circus was the nastiest one. I couldn't.
I definitely
do 2
enjoy.
episodes. Once I saw them lobster claws, I couldn't watch
You gotta
it.
rewatch Circus, because I rewatched Circus. It was pretty damn
The
good.
Circus was disgusting.
Circus was pretty damn good.
It made me sick to my stomach.
That damn dandy was one of the best.
What I wanted to say to you, James, before we wrap up, whenever you get free time, just start, because we could always revisit this conversation later down the line. Check out American Horror Story Apocalypse, and we can have this conversation. It's about New World Order, and it's really, really entertaining.
Well, hasn't
I enjoy Cult too.
Westworld and Black Mirror tackle those subjects too?
Black Mirror is. You
No,
know
that
what?
shit is
I'm
crazy.
not gonna forget
That shit
Falcon
is
for
crazy.
Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Falcon was fucking his homie. It's not cool. He in the video
Don't
game
forget
fucking his homie.
You ever seen Black Mirror?
I haven't seen. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
You got to see what your man Anthony Mackie was doing in Black Mirror.
I don't need to see what Andy Mackey was doing in Black
There's
Mirror.
some cool episodes. I
No.
would say that was a hit or miss show.
No, that's a hit. There's no miss.
No,
That's- that's a-
not
that
every
definitely was good
episode
show.
was like.
I agree.
Westworld was the better Black Mirror, but that was because it was only on HBO, and and Netflix was Black Mirror. But so there was some Black Mirrors I was like, a little boring, kind of dumb, but some of them were really good. I was like, fuck, that could be real, and that's the kind of really the technology apocalypse is the one that scares me the most. I don't give a shit about a New World Order.
No, the Black Mirror technology was so on point.
And the crazy
That
thing
shit was
is
so on point.
the one where they was doing a like thing and how that actually is happening in China.
Oh yeah, the social currency
Yeah.
where you get a social score. Love it.
Get deep, violators. Like I said, man, fall time is upon us, and we back at it. We coming at you hard. We coming at you with a lot of content.
Exactly.
All right, but as always, from Violators with Love, it's your boy Jay.
Cool guy.
Mo.
Previously redacted Jimmy Thump.
And we the
He
Violators.
got them fucking glasses on, too. That shit funny.
We out.